I'd like to call the special council meeting of May 14th, 2025 to order. Are there any motions from the table? Go ahead, Councilor Wilson.
Making a motion to recess for 20 minutes.
Thank you. Any discussion from council? I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. like to reconvene our meeting after recess. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda from administration?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, no additions or deletions from administration.
Anything from council? Not seeing anything, get a motion to accept the agenda as circulated.
I'll make that motion, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Melick. Call that question, all in favor? And that's carried. And 4.1, the RFD on bylaw FIN 04-2025. Tingley? Oh, sorry, no, we have one other, I need a motion to bring that up off the table.
I'll make the motion to bring it up there.
Thank you, Councillor Cosby. Motion is to bring that bylaw back from the table. I'll call that question, or discussion, sorry. Call that question, all in favor? That's carried. Stingley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Apologize, I just, if I'm correct, we were at the third reading as well. Would you like me to present the RFDs for context for everyone that's listening in tonight? Absolutely. All right, so,
Yes, please.
of course. All right, so this RFD is to include a new residential subclass within the assessment subclasses bylaw. So some background on this RFD in front of us right now. So per the order in council, all annexed land and accessible improvements were taxed on the same basis had they remained in Sturgeon County from 2008 up to and including 2023. So when that order expired, the 2024 property taxation year, any assessment and taxation rules per this order had also expired. So as a result, the properties within the previously annexed area were now taxed at the same rates as other properties within the town, and the farm-related exemptions that had applied under the order were no longer applicable. So because this is no longer applicable, the full residential assessment is included and taxed accordingly. In 2024, these properties were reassigned to tax classification 910, farm/residential, and that residential portion is now subject to the town's residential mill rate. So the property owners impacted by this change have raised concerns regarding the fairness of this taxation shift and have inquired if there is some middle ground to be found in terms of taxation. So to determine what options were available to present to council, administration reached out to Municipal Affairs, and they confirmed that per section 297(1) of the Municipal Government Act, residential properties could be subclassed for any reason that council deemed reasonable. So as per bylaw 910, we currently have residential subclasses to include improved and vacant residential. This matter was initially brought to the April 15th, 2025 regular council meeting, and the inclusion of an additional residential subclass was included in the tax rate options presented during the April 22nd Committee of the Whole meeting. A motion was carried during the April 22nd Committee of the Whole meeting directing administration to prepare the tax rate bylaw with the mill rate based on no changes to the current subclasses as presented in option 1. During the May 6th regular council meeting, council carried a motion to direct administration to revise the tax rate bylaw to utilize the tax rate structure presented in option 3, which would include a new residential subclass. So that's why you'll see that the numbering of the bylaw that you see in front of you is 2025 or 04-2025, because this was created following the initial tax rate bylaw. But in order for us to set a mill rate that includes the different residential subclass, we need to pass this bylaw first. So that's some context on the numbering. And that concludes my RFD.
Thank you. Councillor Olson?
I'd like to make the motion that bylaw FIN 04-2025 be given third and final reading.
Thank you for that. Discussion from council. Go ahead, Councillor Melick.
I would just like to say that, like what I said last night, I talked to a handful of people in the community, and, you know, some were a little upset with what was going on, and you know, I talked with another resident today who has a little bit of experience and knew a little bit of knowledge behind it and that, and talked for a bit, and you know, brought some light to it, and you know, it kind of explained to just like what we said, and how they don't have the amenities the people have in town, and you know, and then like I find out we don't even grade the roads out there or whatever, you know. So that's why I said I guess I wish I had more or took more time to you know, really look into it and talk to some more people, and you know, and when I find out like exactly what they were paying or how much more it was quite a bit more. So I'm glad I had that talk today and whatever, and you know, so it really brought some light, and I'm glad, you know, I went out and did that. So, and I've heard both sides. So, you
Yeah,
know.
and I think that's why we're here, is to make those examinations and look to find what's best for the community as a whole. Okay. Anything else from council? Not seeing anything, I'll call that question. All in favor? Carried unanimous. 4.2, RFD on bylaw FIN 03-2025. And again, we're in your hands.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So the purpose of this RFD is to pass the taxation bylaw for the purpose of collecting money to cover the expenses of operating the municipality that are not collected from other sources such as grants, utilities, and user fees. So some background on this RFD and how we arrived at the mill rates presented in the bylaw. So during the April 22nd committee of the whole meeting, presented council with 3 separate options for consideration when creating this bylaw. So option 1 was with no changes to the mill rate structure from the previous year. So just to note that the residential and non-residential split is at 63% and 37%, which has remained the same since 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Then options 2 through 4, we reviewed some different levels of residential in terms of if we were to offer if we were to include an annexed residential subclass, and then additionally have the farmland at a reduced rate compared to the residential mill rate of 90%, 75%, and 60%. So it was council's direction to, on May 6th, to prepare the tax rate bylaw to revise it using option 3, which was at the 75%. With the summary, you'll see the difference between options 2, 3, and 4 and how it impacts the residential properties. So I will just focus on option 3 as that's what relates to the option that I'm presenting this evening with the tax rate bylaw. So option 3 has a mill rate reduction of 75%. So we've taken the residential mill rate and we've reduced it by 75% to set a mill rate for the annexed residential and the farmland as well. So at that 75% reduction, the previously annexed farmland and the annexed residential are seeing a decrease in their residential, their taxation on average of $827. The impact on the average residential property as a result of this shift in the mill rates is $13 annually, and that's on an average property of $225,200. So again, that's $13 annually compared to a savings on the annexed residential of $827 annually. So what we were trying to achieve with these different options was to find a more equitable approach to setting the mill rate amongst the different subclasses available to us. And again, so the attached 2025 tax rate bylaw and the corresponding tax rate presentation are as per this option, utilizing option 3. And that concludes my RFD.
Thank you. Councilor Olsen.
I'd like to make the motion that council raise the bylaw FIN-03-2025 from the table.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm having a computer meltdown. It's just,
Is it the computer?
Or the other.
definitely is.
I was gonna say that, but you got me first.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, discussion? Not seeing any motion to raise it from the table. I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Councillor Spicer.
I move that bylaw FIN 03-2025 be given second reading as amended.
Thank you. Discussion? Call that question. All in favor? That's carried. Counselor Cosby?
I move that bylaw Fin -03-2025 being a bylaw authorizing the rates of the taxation levied against assessable properties within the town of Redwater be given third and final reading.
Thank you. Further discussion from council? Not seeing any, I'll call that question. All in favor? And that's carried. Counselor Olson?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you ever so much, and thank you, council, for putting this through. It's a yearly battle.